What is up, guys? It's your boy, Rick. Ooh, scorn on the field. Cactus here. Guys, thank you so much for stopping by. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button to support the channel and let me know what you think my next intro should be. That comment section is absolutely wild. Alright, today, wow, we have an absolutely massive change to Destiny 2, and this is something that's really going to impact every single Destiny 2 player going forward. Guys, if you have a friend that plays D2, send them this video, because everyone needs to know about the fact that Xur has been completely overhauled. And to best explain it, let's just go to him. So if you want to access Xur this weekend, he is located in the tower hangar. You're going to see how I get there in the background. But once we actually interact with Xur, he's selling legendary weapons and armor. Like, I don't think this has ever happened before. Xur is usually the exotic salesperson, so most people, especially veteran players, will kind of ignore him if they have the exotics on offer, or if they have all of the random world drop exotics, unless he has an absolute banger stat roll, which is kind of unlikely. But now, it's going to be worth it for pretty much every single player to check Xur every weekend in order to check his God Rolls potentially. And guys, I'd like to announce I'm doing Xur videos now. Starting today, every single Friday when Xur comes to the tower, I am going to be analyzing his inventory, because quite frankly, I see a lot of absolute garbage recommendations when it comes to legendary God Rolls, and you know your boy is all about those God Rolls. So let's take a look at what Xur has this weekend and talk about if there's anything worth buying. So, let's start things off with the exotics. Firstly, the weapon is the tractor cannon. This thing is fantastic. Shooting enemies debuffs them. It's a shotgun in the heavy slot, so you can double up on shotguns and your ammo finders and scavengers work double duty. Buy this thing if you don't have it. Then we've got the Knucklehead Radar. Actually not a terrible stat roll, however, doesn't see much play. I would kind of avoid it. Then we've got the Doomfang Pauldrons. Not the greatest roll, but the ability of this thing is absolutely fantastic. Buy it if you don't have it, because Void subclasses are being remade in the Witch Queen, and this giving you a ton more Sentinel shields and super energy could be really, really meta. And then we have the Promethean Spur. Not the best, not the greatest stat roll here, and not the greatest exotic overall. I would avoid this one if you can't afford it. Then let's go on and talk about the legendary weapons. Firstly, we have the True Prophecy. This is a fantastic 120, and opening shot is a great perk. However, not too sure about Elemental Capacitor unless you're specifically running Arc to increase the handling, and it can kind of act like a quick draw. But everything else is kind of average as well, especially no stat increasing perk here, appended and extended, not what you want for PvP. Then our next weapon, the Escape Velocity, starts out really good for a PvE role. We've got Extended Mag and Overflow. That's quite the wombo, but I'm really not a fan of Osmosis, so I think for me, this is kind of a skip. Our next weapon here is the Last Dance. This is an adaptive frame sidearm. And the roll here is just pretty average. Like, Quick Draw is better in PvP, but then Dragonfly is more PvE. It's kind of split between the both. Again, this is a pass for me. We have the main ingredient, a Precision Frame Fusion. So overall, we have some okay stuff. Particle Repeater and Ionized Battery isn't bad. Like, Ionized Battery and Rampage for PvE, especially because the Precision's got kind of a big PvE buff this season, isn't bad. But Hipfire Grip really isn't what you want. Another kind of mediocre roll. When I'm saying pass, remember guys, I'm kind of just saying you don't have to buy it. Like, don't feel like if you're low on resources, you need to buy it. But if you want to, by all means, go ahead. We've got another fusion rifle here with the Hollow Words. Again, this is split between two worlds. Like, Backup Plan definitely more meant for PvP, but then Lead from Gold definitely more meant for PvE. So, split between those two things, not exactly a fan. This is another skip for me. Then we've got the 7th Seraph Saw. Okay, so this gets a little interesting. So we do have appended mag, which is absolutely what you want here, increasing the magazine size, and then we have auto-loading holster. Make no mistake, those two perks are absolutely fantastic in PvE. But then we have Mulligan, which really isn't great. However, if you don't have this weapon, like if this is your first one or you don't have a good roll, I would recommend buying it just because this can make Warmind cells, and even with the nerf, making Warmind cells is pretty powerful, and having an appended auto-loading 7 Seraph, even if Mulligan isn't what you want, is still something I would recommend. And lastly, we have actually a really interesting roll here with the Bite of the Fox. So what we have here is actually a pretty decent PvE roll. So appended mag, increasing that magazine to 4, and I believe if you put on a backup spec mod, you'll get that magazine all the way to 5, combined with rapid hit, which is great for PvE. You know, land all your shots on a big boss, for example, reload really fast and start shooting again. And then we have explosive payload. Now, traditionally, you would want something, you know, like Vorpal, not even saying this can spawn here, but Vorpal, etc. to increase the damage, but explosive payload also increases the damage. It's going to let you do 15% more damage for a body shot in PvE and 10% more damage for a headshot. So a constant damage increase combined with a really good reload increasing perk combined with a magazine extending perk. If you don't have a decent kinetic PvE sniper, I would recommend picking this up. There is definitely better options, like the Secession is just outright better, but hey, if you're a newer player who haven't done the Deepstone Crypt yet, definitely consider the Bite of the Fox. Then lastly, we have the legendary armor here. Now, I'm on Hunter, so Gauntlets actually not a terrible roll, mobility and discipline being featured. Chest armor, I would skip. Then we've got the class armor, just get if you want it. Now, the helmet is actually pretty decent, like high mobility, high recovery, decent intellect, decent strength. This is kind of what you want in PvP, honestly. Especially if you're playing Stasis Hunter and you do really want that strength. And then lastly, the boots, not a bad high intellect roll. I tend to avoid things that are dead 60. I feel like you can do a bit better, but if you are a new player, this is definitely something you should consider picking up. Alright, switching to the Warlock here, let's check those armor rolls. So gloves, I would skip. Chest piece, actually really good, unfortunately 59 stat, but those spikes are where you want them. I would consider buying this. You know, we got the bond and then we've got the helmet. Helmet, too much resilience for a Warlock in my opinion. And then the boots, kind of average. I think I would skip those as well. Like a good overall roll, but nothing super great, and the recovery is too low. Now let's try Titan. Okay, on the Titan now, arms, actually not terrible. Like the resilience is what you want and a big spike to intellect as well. I would consider these. Then for the chest piece, definitely skip. 55 is trash. Mark, the helmet, wow, okay, Titan's getting shafted. 53, skip. 51, wait, everything else is high stat rolls for the other classes. Wow, Titan got absolutely shafted. I would consider the arms, everything else is skip. So guys, that concludes my first kind of Xur inventory review. Expect definitely more every single weekend. Subscribe if you want to see these assessments. I hope you enjoyed this video, found this informative, and if you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me, be sure to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. Guys, again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.